Good evening, everyone. We are waiting for our speaker to join. We'll be starting the session soon.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
A very good evening to respected dignitaries, distinguished guests, faculty member, researchers, students, and participants. Welcome you all to the 13th day of our 30-day summer nurture training program under International Krishi Manthan 2026. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome you all to today's conference. We are truly honored by your presence and we sincerely appreciate your valuable time and participation. Today's conference is graced by Dr. Arvind Kumar Ishar, an eminent agricultural scientist and distinguished expert in the field of entomology. Dr. Ishar is currently serving as a chief scientist, entomology, and head Krishi Vigyan Kendra, Rajouri, a constituent unit of SQUAST, Jammu, a gold medalist in MSc Agriculture, and a doctorate holder from SQUAS Jammu. He has devoted over 19 years to advancing plant protection, integrated pest management, and agricultural extension. His remarkable contributions have helped popularize eco-friendly pest management practices, significantly reducing pesticide use while enhancing crop productivity. He has played a pivotal role in validating indigenous technical knowledge, promoting natural farming, and encouraging beekeeping among farming communities. Dr. Ishar has authored more than 50 research papers, 3 books, and several book chapters and training manuals. His outstanding work has earned him prestigious honors, including the ICR Dr. Annie Borlaug Award, Young Scientist Award, and Excellence in Extension Award. Sir, we are truly honored by your presence. The stage is all yours.
Thank you. Should I share my slides now?
Yes, sir.
Is it full screen mode or it's still?
No, sir, can you please make it to the full
Okay, let me try it again. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, I hope I'm audible to anyone. Uh, I'm Dr. Arvind Ishar, as host has told you about it. Let's start our topic with beekeeping. Actually, I think all of us are very well aware of what bees are, what honeybees are. We shall be talking in detail about the scope of beekeeping. It will include what actually beekeeping is, then what what species of bees are being reared in our country, especially the hilly areas, and then we'll be focusing on the economics and what is the scope of this particular trait in our country. Slide is not moving, I think. Is it moving?
No, sir.
Should I send this PPT to you? Can you share from there? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Should I send it on your email ID or WhatsApp?
So I have just texted you on WhatsApp. Can you please send it there?
Am I audible? Should I send it to you on your WhatsApp or should I send it on your email? This presentation.
Sir, you can send it in WhatsApp.
Okay. I think you received it. Please share it now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, should I start now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next slide, please. Now, let us have a look up at what actually beekeeping is. Is it a new concept or it's something old? We shall go back to our history. Next slide, please. You can see here that Romans, Pliny wrote about it, this beekeeping in 550 AD, and he wrote about wax and propolis. And what he said was that bees are the smallest birds and are born from the bodies of oxen, because they didn't know about the hives of the bees. Then Virgil also wrote about it in 40 BC, and he named this queen as the ruler of this colony. Next, please. Here you can see the paintings by the Greeks in 384 BC, and they have mentioned about the foul-brood disease of bees, which those who are engaged in beekeeping, they might be known about this disease, particular disease in bee colonies. Next, please. Now in Indian caves, you can see a painting, wall painting. It's actually engraving, which is about 500 BC old, and you can see some humans collecting this honey from the bee colonies. Next, please. In Rig Veda, also there is a mention of God Vishnu in the form of bee sting on the lotus. Then in Holy Quran, this honey has been mentioned as the blessing for the humans. Science, because you need to know about the morphology, about the habits, about the feeding habits, about feeding needs of the these honeybees. And it's hard because you might be knowing, you might need to know the management practices, including the handling and some other practices for starting this venture. Next, please. Now, what actually is beekeeping? Next. Beekeeping or apiculture is the maintenance of bee colonies in artificial domicile, which we call hives, to manage these colonies primarily to harvest honey, then beeswax, royal jelly, and pollen, or to provide essential pollination substances for the local agriculture. This is the simplest definition for beekeeping. You can say apiculture. Next, please. Now, what beekeeping is, it implies hiving and management honeybees for some of the these hive products, and of course for honey, which we are known for that. Next, please. Now, why should we care about the bees? Now, when everyone now is talking about the fifth pillar of agriculture, which is pollinators, why should we care about these honeybees? Why would need to study and to manage them? Next. Now, obviously, if we talk about the honeybees, first thing which come to our mind is the honey, which all we relish in our diets, in our these medicines, and lot of other Ayurvedic products. Now, is it the only honey which we need to get from the honeybees? Next, please. What else? What else we need to know, or we get from these bees? Next, please. Now, these are some of the products which we get from these beehives. First is venom, which अपने भाषा में इसको जहर बोलते हैं. Then pollen. Those who join gyms, they might be knowing about the pollen. What is the importance of this pollen? Then propolis, royal jelly, and wax. In next slides, we'll be learning more about these products. Next, please. Now, beyond these things, what we actually get from this divine food is we get carbohydrates, we get proteins, varnish, and antibiotics. Then cells for the good. We get vitamins, a lot of things which human body need actually for good health. Next, please. And this is the composition of honey. If someone who is interested in it, they can save this slide. We get all type of sugars: fructose, glucose, sucrose, maltose. No other food gives us all these components of the food. Then high sugars, free acids, and above all, ash and acids are also present in honey. Next, please. Anything else? If anybody from this audience can respond, what we actually get from honeybees? Actually, this talk is open. You can intervene at any time. Anything else which we get? Okay, let's see what we get else. The actual service which you get from honeybees is the pollination. Though we concentrate upon the getting honey from these honeybees, but the actual service of honeybees is the pollination. In next slides, we will be learning about this. Next, please. Now, those who have learned this zoology and about this entomology, they know that there are certain pollinators in our this universe, like bats, moths and butterflies, birds, flies, and of course, abiotic factors also play a pivotal role in pollination, that is wind and water. But honeybees are the most important players in the field of pollination. Next, please. Here we can see that honeybees and other pollinators taken together contribute to world agriculture. It's about 153 billion annually. This is the actual value, which was told way back in 2009. but at present it is more than 500 billion US dollars, the net worth of pollination we get from the service of these honeybees. Next, please. Now, why these honeybees are very good pollinators? If we go through the biomorphology of these honeybees, they have body parts specially modified. They have pollen baskets, then pollen brush, which help them to do the better service of pollination. Then floral fidelity, their working duration, they work right from dusk to dawn, dawn to dusk, and then working duration is very long. Thoroughness, their total population, we will learn in next slide that up to 50,000 individuals, or we can say that 50,000 bees can be found in a single colony, and then they are doing at their own will. Then their flight communication system is the best known flight communication system in this universe. Next. This was the scientist, this was who told us about the actual communication skills of these honeybees, Carl von Frisch. Next, please. What he told was that these honeybees communicate with the help of dance. Their round dance. Next, please. This waggle dance. This shows the colonies, the individuals in the colonies, where the food is and how far the food is, and at what direction they have to move to collect the food or water. Next, please. Here you can see if there is a 20-degree distance between the two loops created by this honeybee, it means that the vertical angle between the sun and the source of food is 20 degree. If this angle increases to 30 or 40, it means that the food is about 40 degree towards the 40 degree from the sun. Next, please. They are outstanding pollinators because they are most efficient, only dependable. They visit flowers methodically, most frequently, and covering entire flowering period of the crop. They do not waste pollen or nectar, conveniently managed, and they are amenable, precisely manipulated and available. Then additionally provide useful high products, which I have mentioned earlier. Next, please. Now, what are the benefits of pollination? There are so many crops which we get without pollination, but the real role play of pollination is that we get good quality pollen transfer, then higher fruit set and high yield. The taste of the fruit is very best. Juice content of the fruit, which is pollinated by the honeybees, it's very much more. Then better seed germination, and the most important that the vigor of the seeds and the seedlings is much better than those who we get without pollination. Next, please. These are the fruit crops which are pollinated by bees. It means that almost all the fruit plants, even vegetables and some other crops, they are pollinated by honeybees. Next, please. This here we can see how much increase we can get with the help of pollination by the honeybees. In core crops, we can get 100 to 300% more seeds with the pollination of these. Likewise, in radish, carrot, turnip, we can get about 22 to 400% increased yield of the seeds. Next, please. This is the yield increase due to bee pollination. This yield of fruits or these vegetables. You can see that in mustard we get 43% increase yield, and in rapeseed here you can see up to 139% increase. Likewise, in cucurbits we can get 100% increase in yield. In this slide you can see there are various crops for which there is a considerable increase in the yield due to the service of these honeybees. Next, please. Now, what is the actual strength of colonies which you need in these particular crops? For almond, apple, citrus, etc., we may need about 2 to 3, but in almond 5 to 8 colonies are required to get proper pollination, because almond is highly cross-pollinated crop. Next, please. Now, if we see the real worth of this pollination, it has been estimated that in US alone, about 15 to 24 billion US dollars worth pollination they get with the help of these honeybees. And in India, we can see we get about 11.82 billion worth US dollars. This increase in the yield of our crops with the help of pollination by honeybees. Next, please. Now, since we all know that there were 4 factors for fruitful management of our land and for better results of our crops. but now it has been agreed upon that beekeeping is the fifth pillar, in addition to land, labor, capital, and management, which is playing a pivotal role in increasing the yield of our various crops in the field. Next, please. Now we will go through in detail about the species of honeybees which are available in the country. First is Apis mellifera, then Apis cerana, Apis flori, and Apis dorsata. Next, please. Among these species, Apis dorsata, Apis flori, they are wild bees. They cannot be managed. But Apis cerana and Apis mellifera, they have been tamed, and they are being very successfully reared in beehives, and we are getting very good results from these two species. Next, please. Now there is another fifth species which has been recently been added to this list. That is Melipona iridipensis. That is also known as dammer bee. This is very small. It is actually very few millimeters in size, with the characteristics of these fluffy hairs on its thorax. They are very small, and they are stingless bees. They can't harm. So work is going on upon by various workers how to get maximum benefit from this species also. Next, please. This Apis otoi is also called giant bee. It's a wild bee and cannot be hived. Very big in size and very voracious. It can attack at any time, and it's very difficult to handle them. Next, please. This is the hive. They are open. They don't conceal their hives. You can see on rocks and some other big tree trunks, their hive can be seen. Next, please. This is Apis flori, very small, and it's very voracious, but its sting is not very painful. They usually honey is very unripe, and it's difficult to store for a long time. Next, please. Next, please. This is Apis cerana, which is Asiatic or Indian honeybee. It can be hived, and it constructs multiple parallel combs. It is smaller than dorsata. Then it produces ripened honey, and it is being tamed very easily, and a lot of farmers are engaged in its rearing now. Next, please. This is traditional beekeeping of Apis cerana. Next, please. The major problem is that it's highly swarming tendency, and its production is very low. Next, please. The real game changer in the field of beekeeping was the introduction of Apis mellifera in India way back in 1962 to 65 by Punjab Agriculture University. It was introduced at Nagrota, which is now in Himachal Pradesh. Next, please. Multiplication and establishment in Punjab by N.P. Goyal. Then research on Apis mellifera at PAU at Ludhiana in 1966 to 75. Now it is very well established in the country, and most of the farmers engaged in beekeeping are rearing this Apis mellifera, and it gives very good yield of honey, and ripened honey is also got from this particular species. Next, please. This is the colony of Apis. Hello. बात तो नहीं कर दी मैंने? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, actually in a very remote area, and we have lost internet connection.
No problem, sir.
Okay. Next, please. This is colony of Apis mellifera. In the center, you can see the queen where this abdomen is more larger than the wing span. Next, please. Now, these bees, as we know, they are very highly socialized colonies. Next, please. These are the castes, queen, workers, and drones. Next. You can identify the cells with their shape. The first one is queen cell, which is prolonged. It's elongated cell. Another is worker cell, which is flattened. And the next is drone cell, which is somewhat engulfed above the other cells. Next, please. This is the queen. Queen is a mature female which can lay up to 2,000 eggs in a single day. This queen is the longest living bee in the colony. It is larger than others, and it does not have any sting. It cannot sting. Next, please. You can see here, this in the center, there is the longest bee is the queen, and it is surrounded by other workers and drones. Next, please. No, worker bees, they are actual workers, they are actual contributors in the colony. These are female actually, but they cannot produce eggs. They only work for the welfare of this colony. Next, please. These are the drones. The only role of drones is to mate with the female so that female can produce eggs. Otherwise, they have no other role. And I might tell you that when there is dearth of food in the colony, the drones are thrown outside this colony so that they cannot consume much food, and the food is saved for the these other inhabitants of the colony. Next, please. Next, please. Now, since they are social workers, the labor among the inhabitants is divided. Nurse bees, when the bee is 1 to 12 days old, its work is to nurse these brood, then cleaning the cells and self-grooming. Next, please. Then house bees, when the bees are 10 to 20 days old, they comb the building, house cleaning, it's their work, then accepting nectar and pollen from the foragers, and the hive is guarded by them. Whenever some natural enemy or drones attack this colony, it's the work of house bees to control their invasion, and they also go for climate control by flapping their wings. Next, please. Then field bees, the foragers are the field bees. They collect nectar, pollen, water, and plant resins for their hives. Next, please. Now, what is the scope of beekeeping? The actual the purpose of this lecture was whatever youth can do in the field of beekeeping, so that they start a venture, or they can be entrepreneurs in this particular field. Next. With the diversification of agriculture, we have introduced fisheries, poultry, dairy, rabbit farming, likewise floriculture and mushroom growing. But with the introduction of beekeeping, we can actually complete the integrated farming system for higher production and higher profitability. Next, please. Though most important characteristics of this particular venture is that there is very low initial investment, low cost technology, least labor intensive. We don't need any extra labor for this particular trade. Least time requirement. We don't need extra time. There is no shed or structure required for this particular trade. Then we get early returns within 3 or 4 months. There is no offensive smell like dairy and goatry. Then there is no bar of sex, age, or profession. Anybody at any age can adopt this profession. Next, please. Now, in beekeepers in India, they can be school-going kids, they can be college students, farm ladies, servicemen as a part-time, any hobbyist, then any retiree who wants to contribute in this particular field. Then whole-time businessman can also be a beekeeper, or a beekeeper can be a whole-time businessman. Next, please. Now, as a part of KVK, our target is college pass-outs and university students. Next, please. Next. Now, why it's so suitable for agro-based enterprise because there is no competition with any other agricultural enterprise for the resources, because the resources what these bees collect, they are of no use for any other organism. Then they require very simple equipments we will be discussing about in the later slides. Then it leads to generation of several other avenues. Then pollination of bees improves quality and quantity of the crop produce. So this suggests that anybody who is actually engaged in crop production or fruit orchard production or any other such enterprise, they can very well culminate this beekeeping in their ongoing traditional work. Next, please. Now, what do you actually need to start beekeeping or apiculture? Next. What you actually need to start any venture is SWOT analysis of whatever you do. Now, here, since we are going for beekeeping, there are four main parts, that is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. The strength in beekeeping is that there is low initial investment. You don't need much capital to start this. Then there is very limited requirement. Even if those farmers or those people who don't have their own land, they can start beekeeping on rented land or at any no man's land. Then it increases pollination and it increases employment. These are the strengths. Then what are the weaknesses? Let us talk about that. There is a lack of skilled labor. Then there is very limited information regarding flora, because beekeeping is actually totally dependent on the available flora of a particular area. Then there is absence of proper marketing structure. A farmer may get 500 rupees per kg, and on the other hand, some farmers may get only 80 rupees per kg by the industrialists. So there is no proper structured market for this particular field. There is a lack of quality testing facilities. Since now our government is emphasizing on quality, and a lot of these labs are being established in almost second or third district of our country. The opportunities we shall be looking in coming slides also, that meeting market demand, there is opportunity. There is a lot of gap between actual production and the demand. There is a provision to increase foreign trade. We will be also discussing about it. Then employment generation through adopting the beekeeping. These are the opportunities. Now, what are the threats? The theft of bee boxes. A number of cases have been reported. Then there are a lot of natural enemies like bear, then ants, then wasps. They lead to a lot of damage. Then indiscriminate use of pesticides. The use of pesticides is leading to so many problems related to the beekeeping. Then lack of insurance coverage. Next, please. Now, actually, what physically we need this bee box, which is called hive. Next, please. Then we need these small tools. You can see here bee veil, gloves, smoker, then uncapping knife, bee brush, honey extractor. These are very small equipments which we may need, as we have already told that there is very low initial investment in starting this venture. Next, please. Now, what are the basics of beekeeping? We should be having the knowledge of bee science, then familiarity with the modern agriculture, some elementary economics, we shall be discussing about it, then tools to ability to work with wood, then ability to keep vehicles running, because if you want to go for a very profitable beekeeping, you need to migrate these bees depending upon the availability of flora. Now, above all, you should be having the fortitude to take the bee stings. Next, please. Now, this is the ideal site of apiary. It should be away from the road, and it should not be that much away that you have to keep to carry these boxes on your back. It should be almost 200 to 300 meters away from the road. Then there should be a windbreak. There should be drainage of water to avoid logging of water near the colonies. Then there should be availability of fresh water for the bees. Next, please. आइडियल एपेरी साइज जो है वो लगभग 50 के आसपास जो है, it's known to be ideal, and the estimated profit, it has been estimated that one may get about 150 to 1,50,000 to about 2 lakh in a year. Next, please. And for 100 this size mellifera colonies, it is estimated that we may get a profit of rupees 5,75,000 per year. Next, please. These are the some recurring and non-recurring costs which we may need to start this venture. Next, please. And I must tell you that these costs are not uniform for every place. The cost of these inputs and these recurring costs, it differ from place to place. So you need to calculate at the rate of your own place. Next, please. Now, if you see the profitability of these bee colonies, if you are able to sell at the rate of 250 per kg at wholesale, you may be able to get a profit per colony at 2,000 per colony. It may increase depending upon the rate which you get from your this wholesaler or your vendor. Next, please. This is the estimated cost benefit ratio of this 100 colonies. Next. Next, please. So for 100 colonies, we may get a profit of rupees 4,723 rupees per colony based on the cost of the inputs. I am already telling you that the cost may vary from place to place and the availability of resources at a particular place. Next, please. The major bee flora which we may get around the year, it again, I'm telling you that it will depend upon your particular area, the climate of your particular area, and the cropping pattern of your particular area. Like we may get brassica and thoria from November to February, and in March we may get flowers from eucalyptus. In June, July, care and cucurbits will be available for the for collection of nectar and pollen for the bees. Likewise, you can prepare your own calendar, and based on that particular crop calendar, you may migrate your colonies from one place to another. Next, please. This is honey extraction in the field. You need net for doing that. Next, please. How we can maximize the yield of honey per colony? You should be knowing how to scientifically practice this beekeeping. Old queen needs to be replaced every year. Then honeybee should be very strong, and we should be having multiple supers by following double queen bee system. Although it's difficult for with these these people, those who have started just by a few years, but slowly you might be learning how to do that. And then checking the swarming, robbing by bee enemies, use of queen excluder, and migratory beekeeping. This is the most important part. As I have told you that you need to migrate your bees as per the availability of flora in your particular area. Next, please. What India has the potential in beekeeping. You might be surprised to know that at present we have only 2 million hive colonies, but actually need is 200 millions. It means there is a dearth of another 198 million colonies, and our pollination requirement is 73.7 million colonies. And if we are able to do that, we may be successful in increasing our income by 30,000 million, which is a mammoth amount, which we may get only by rearing these deficient colonies in our country. Next, please. Now, what is the employment potential? This is very important part. We shall be calculating on 10,000 honeybee colonies. If we are able to increase our 10,000 honeybee colonies in a particular area, we will be getting 4,62,000 man days work. And it means about 1,500 persons will be getting the job annually. And according to India has potential to provide employment to 1.2 crore people with the introduction of just 10,000 bee colonies. It doesn't mean that only those people who shall be engaged in rearing the colonies, all those people who shall be engaged in providing the inputs for these colonies like beehives, then bottles for packing, then bee wax packing. Likewise, so many other trades shall be associated with it. And as per the National Bee Board data, with the introduction of these colonies, we may be able to provide job opportunity to about 3 crore additional people. Next, please. Now, if we see these projected data in equipment manufacturing, 72,000 man days shall be created for this job. Looking after the bee colonies, 3 lakh man days job will be created. For increasing the honey bee colonies and bee queen bees, 1 lakh man days job will be created. And for honey and bees wax processing, 16,000 job of man days shall be created. In total, we shall be able to get about 5 lakh man days of job opportunity by introduction of these just 10,000 colonies. And if you can imagine, if we are able to create the gap of this about 98 billion colonies, how mammoth shall be the projection of these jobs. Next, please. Now, another opportunity for us is that we are second largest exporter of this honey, and the honey of India is very much in demand. Though due to US sanctions, our trade export has decreased in this year only due to that sanction. But if these sanctions are removed, we shall again be the major player in export of honey to the other countries, especially US and some other these Gulf countries. Next, please. Now, we shall be talking about, we were talking about honey only. Now, let us see what price we fetch from the byproducts of these bee colonies. First, you all know that pollen is very much in demand, especially in the gyms and for those who are interested in bodybuilding. The actual cost of pollen which they get is about 500 to 1200 rupees per kg, depending on the quality of the pollen. Then propolis you may get 2500 rupees per kg. Royal jelly, which is very much in demand, especially in China, it costs about more than 20,000 per kg. Bee venom, you may get 5,000 rupees per gram. Per gram venom costs rupees 5,000. So you can see how much potential is there in this particular venture. Beeswax, which is used in cosmetics, in medicines, and in packaging materials for preservation of fruits. It costs about, it may fetch about 250 to 650 per kg. The variation is price. It all depends on the quality of the product which you are selling. And you can also raise queen bees, and you may get about 400 rupees per bee. You can sell these. And those who have visited Kashmir, especially the apple orchards, the orchardists, they pay rupees 1,000 to 1,300 rupees per colony to the beekeepers. Just they keep their colonies in their orchard so that they may get maximum produce of the apple. And I have already told that fruit which is produced after the pollination by bees, their taste and their juice increase magnificently. Next, please. These are multi-pronged sources of income from beekeeping. We have already discussed about it. Next, please. These are benefits from beekeeping. Direct benefits is honey, pollen, propolis, beeswax, we have just discussed. And the indirect, these benefits, that's employment. And above all, the most important factor from this beekeeping is role in crop pollination. Next, please. This is honey. Next. This is an example of this beekeeper who, in addition to selling honey, now is processing, he produces, he is getting byproducts, and he has opened his own sale point. He's Vagira. Next, please. These are the various products which he is selling. Propolis shampoo, propolis soap, propolis oil, so many things. Next, please. There is another example from our district. I'm in Rajouri, in Jammu and Kashmir. The farmers, his name is Jitendra Kumar. Next, he started his journey in the field of beekeeping. Next, please. In the year 2006, with just 7 colonies, and in 2009, he started migration to Mathura with only 37 colonies. Now, subsequently, he has increased his colonies. He migrates his colonies to Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, and back to Sundarbani. He started his migration in October, and his migration totally depends on the availability of flora in various states. So he keeps wandering in Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, and comes back to J&K in the Mata March when there is flowering in apple. Then he extracts multi-crop honey, and he is selling at the place where he keeps his colonies. He sells it there. Now he has total of 300 colonies, and he is now providing other products like bee colon, bee wax, propolis, royal jelly, and he is selling it to Mr. Amit Kejriwal, Bee Care Limited in Patiala. He is the major exporter from country, and his annual income has now increased to 10 lakhs per year. Next, please. These are the various constraints which beekeepers mostly face. The number one is unfavorable weather and climate conditions, then shortage of bee forage, bee diseases, predators and natural enemies, problems during migration, high cost of standardized beekeeping equipments, then lack of skilled labor availability. This is the major problem. Then it is indiscriminate use of pesticides. This is the most dangerous and most threatening factor, which is now costing us this reduction in export also. Then poor management of honeybee colonies. Next, please. Next. Some natural enemies are also there, which pose threat in our bee colonies. The first is varroa mites, then predatory wasps, wax moth, bee-eating birds, lizards, bear, and ants. These are some natural enemies which play a pivotal role in threatening our colonies. The major important part is predatory wasps. They can even kill up to thousands of bees in a single hour, in a single day. Next, please. Now, there are some other invited problems. The problem which we were discussing with these were some natural problems. Now, the problem which human have themselves created is monocropping. We have totally discarded multiple cropping and integrated farming system. Then deforestation, which leads to variation in temperatures and loss of various flora and flowers. Then the most important part is injudicious use of broad spectrum insecticides, especially the neuropesticides, which lead to this death of so many individuals of a colony. And these weak colonies, they fail to survive, and we lose a lot of our pollinators in this practice, especially due to use of insecticides. Next, please. Then our government has started various initiatives to promote beekeeping in our country. The most important role is by National Bee Board, which is actively engaged in promoting beekeeping, especially for the small farmers. The SFSC project, that is Small Farmers Agri Business Consortium. This is the society under the Society Registration Act. And it was reconstituted with the Secretary as Chairman June 2006. And then there is National Beekeeping and Honey Mission. The lot of funding is being provided to the farmers who want to start this particular venture of beekeeping. And then Honey Mission, the main aim of Honey Mission is to go for this sweet revolution, just like white revolution, then green revolution. The main aim of our country, these initiatives is to promote and to go for sweet revolution. Next, please. Then there is a portal called Madhu Kranti portal. Anybody can visit this portal and they can get registered. It is an initiative by National Bee Board, which is under Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. This portal is being developed for the online registration of the farmers. I must tell you that if we are having about 4 lakh honey bee beekeepers, only 50% of them have registered on these portals, which is not good for this policy making. This particular portal has been created for those who want to get them registered with the National Bee Board. Next, please. Now, let us learn about some interesting facts of honeybees. They came to this earth about 30 million years ago. Only insect that produces food eaten by man. Only food which is eaten by man and produced by the insects. Then it is totally environmental friendly, and they are very vital as pollinators. A bee strokes its wings 11,400 times in a minute, and that's why they make a distinctive buzz sound which we hear whenever we pass by a colony or whenever a honeybee passes by us, it can fly up to 6 miles and as fast as 15 miles per hour. Hence, it would have to fly about 90,000 miles, which is actually 3 times the globe to make a pound of honey. It means if we are having 400 grams of honey, it would have cost this particular bees to fly for 90,000 miles. The average honey bee, which actually makes, is only 1/12 of a teaspoon throughout its lifespan. Next, please. Another fact about these bees is that 556 workers work together to collect 150 pound of honey, and they visit about 2 million flowers to collect this 1 pound of honey. If a honey bee is able to consume 1 ounce of honey, it would be sufficient for her to go around the world. Another fact is that a honeybee visits 50 to 100 flowers during a collection trip. It means a single flight, it would visit 50 to 100 flowers. A colony may have up to 60,000 honeybees. Worker honeybees are females and live for only 6 to 8 weeks. Next, please. Next, please. The queen bee lives for 2 to 3 years. The male honeybees are called drones. They do no work. They only consume food and mate with the honeybee. These bee queens. It is estimated that 1,100 bee stings are required to be fatal. It means even if 1,100 bees attack you and they sting you, there are very rare chances that you may die of these attacks. Then honeybees communicate with another with dancing, as I've told you. Next, please. What Albert Einstein told about these honeybees, what he felt about these bees, that if they disappear off the surface of the globe, we would be having only 4 years to survive, because without pollination, we will lose grasses, we lose our yield of fruits, our yield of crops, we will have these various floras, and we will be having no much time to survive. Next, please. Now, since we all cannot be engaged in beekeeping or apiculture, we may be having different professions. Now, how we can contribute if we are not into the rearing? The number one factor which will contribute is you should grow flowers everywhere. Wherever you have land, you grow flowers. Be organic and grow organic. It means no use of pesticides. Even if you are using pesticides, be judicious while selecting and using them, and preferably go for natural farming so that these chemicals may not interfere in the morphology and other routine practices of these pollinators. Especially avoid broad spectrum pesticides because they are the major factors in killing these pollinators. And even if you have to use pesticide, go for using it, spraying it after 3:30 p.m. And above all, eat honey. If you will be consuming honey, the demand of honey will increase. And if the demand of honey increases, this profession will increase and the farmers will be motivated to rear more colonies and produce more honey for you. Next, please. So honeybees are the angels of agriculture, our best friend. And let's hope that with our practices, we will be able to exploit these tiny friends and up to the maximum, especially by growing organic and by using minimum pesticides and judicious pesticide use. Next, please. Thank you. If you have any query, if you want to ask any question, if anyone wishes to ask any question, I'm here to respond to you.
And wisdom. Now we open the floor for interaction. Dear participants, if you have any questions or queries, please feel free to write it down in the chat box.
And I'm sorry for the interruption due to power failure in our area, because at present I'm a very remote area where there is a very poor net connectivity. Yes.
It's
You can
okay,
ask
sir.
any.
Sir, there is a question. It goes, how honey grading is done?
Pardon?
How honey grading is done?
Honey grading there, actually now government has established various these quality control labs for honey, and only after this evaluation and this checking of the parameters of the honey, grading can be done. Since there is a lot of adulteration now in honey because it's in very much in demand, that's why grading and quality assurance and testing is very much required. Otherwise, there is without this lab control and without this lab evaluation, there is no other method to exactly tell whether it is of good quality or not.
Sir, there are more questions. Firstly,
Yeah, please.
there is a participant who is not asking question about bee culture or beekeeping, but he wants to ask that his seedlings are being eaten by some kind of pest. He has also spread some spinosad a few times, but the damage is still continuing. Could you please suggest what the possible pest might be and recommend an effective solution?
I couldn't get what crop he is talking about.
So maybe preferably he's talking about cluster bean or
Cluster bean. See, without identification of a pest or without proper knowing what exactly the pest is, we can't recommend any pesticide. Can he please tell me what type of damage it is being done? Whether the pest is sucking the flowers, or whether they are eating these leaves, or they are boring into the pods. Only then we can suggest.
so the pest is eating the leaf.
Then he can go for any contact pesticide or stomach pesticide. He can use this if it's a caterpillar, he can use this chlorantraniliprole. It is used at the rate of 6 ml per 15-liter tank. You can say 0.4 ml per liter of water. It will effectively control these lepidopteran larvae. It's very easy. Yeah, it will be managed.
Okay, sir. So Mahi Pradhan is
There was
asking.
another question about climate change.
So actually your voice is lagging. So can you please repeat?
There was an, I think, question that about climate change, impact
Yes,
of
sir.
climate change on beekeeping.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What exactly he wants to know?
So she wants to know like how climate can affect beekeeping.
See, climate will affect every living organism. Every living organism will be affected by the climate change. Especially for beekeeping, even an increase or decrease of 1 degree temperature will affect these colonies vigorously, because climate will change. If the climate changes and there is increase of temperature, the availability of flora will be affected badly. And since bees are totally dependent on flora, on the nectar, it will eventually affect their diet. And if there is dearth of flora and this pollens and dearth of nectar, the colony will be very weak, and it will be not possible for the colonies to survive. Especially in the case where those areas which are very vulnerable, those crops which are very vulnerable to temperature effect. Yes.
So Shubhadev Das wants you to specify between swamping and absconding.
Absconding, swarming is actually whenever there is the population of a particular colony increases, and these workers, they go for production of a new queen, and this queen will leave that particular colony with some of the individuals, some of the workers of this colony, with some of the drones, and it will form a new colony. absconding may be due to so many other reasons, due to these natural enemies, due to dearth of food. Absconding, it may be due to so many other reasons, but swarming is mostly due to increase in the colonies. And when there is a need to form another colony, there is new honeybee, this queen, it will go for swarming.
So, one of our participants wants practical training on beekeeping. So, sir, is it possible to participate in KVK, or how can he join, or how is the training going?
Where is he from? Where is he from?
Sir, Gaurav Gupta, sir, can you please mention your location or something? Prayagraj.
Prayagraj. Okay. If there is a plant protection scientist in KVK of your particular area, they will definitely go for this training, because now the government of India has clearly passed on directions to every KVK that there should be bee colonies in every KVK, and they should go for training on beekeeping for minimum 100 youths per season. So if there is a scientist of plant production in his particular KVK, he can, otherwise he can visit any agriculture university. Almost all the agriculture universities are having apiary units, and through Samiti or through this division of entomology, they can get training in any agriculture university.
So there is another question which goes like, why is Apis mellifera preferred over Apis serena indica for commercial beekeeping?
I have just told that the production of honey by Apis serena, though it is of good quality, but quantity is very less as compared to Apis mellifera. Moreover, there is a tendency of this swarming in Apis serena. The tendency is very much. So it's very difficult, and you need regular monitoring of colonies so that it may not abscond from this particular area. So Apis mellifera is very easy to handle. It gives very good production. It's this quality of this particular honey. It's not of that much good quality, but it's very acceptable, and it has very high demand in market. Moreover, the conditions required by Apis serena are not available at every place.
So
there is a question that sugar syrup decreases honey quality. What exactly, I don't know. He wants to know whether if he wants to know whether sugar syrup is mixed in the honey or it is fed to the bees. What exactly he wants to know. Can you please elaborate what exactly? Feeding, okay. Now, see, I have told you that since the survival of the colonies is totally dependent upon the availability of nectar and availability of pollen for their young ones, every beekeeper has to feed sugar to its colonies whenever there is dearth of food, there is dearth of pollen, or there is dearth of this nectar in the flowers. Particularly during the rainy days, when the bees are unable to swarm out, they're unable to forage out for longer duration, in 2 or 3 days. In that case, they need to feed them with sugar syrup. No, sugar syrup is fed to bees only, and they don't store it in their combs. They don't store, they use it only for their feeding purpose, just to survive, just to keep them alive. Just feeding the sugar syrup to bees, it won't affect the quality of the honey, because sugar syrup is not stored as in the form of nectar. That's not the case. It's mandatory for the beekeepers to feed them with sugar syrup.
So there is another question. He's asking how migration is done, and while doing migration, does the previous colony are left behind, or what is the procedure?
Migration, I think I mentioned so many times that migration is mandatory, because at a particular place, at one place, you cannot find flowers and nectar throughout the year. different seasons will be you can say that different seasons provide us different type of flowers in different areas. Just I was giving the example of Mr. Jatinder, who keeps roaming from Jammu and Kashmir, then Punjab, then MP, Rajasthan, Gujarat, and comes back, because bees, they need nectar and pollen and nectar will be available in the particular area where there is flowering in the plants or crops. So migration is done just to keep feeding our bees with the pollen and nectar, and migration helps to get us more honey, because more nectar will be available throughout the season and more extraction will be done, and it will be more profitable if we go for migratory beekeeping. If we are not able to migrate, we will have to feed sugar syrup, because there is no availability of food, and we have to keep them alive. To keep them alive, we will have to feed them artificially. To avoid artificial feeding, we should go for migratory beekeeping.
So,
Yeah, Manish is telling why migratory beekeeping is more profitable. I have just mentioned that if you will prefer stationary beekeeping or migratory beekeeping, you will be able to get only one crop in a year, because there will one or at the most 2 seasons when you will be getting flowers and nectar. But when you are going for migratory beekeeping, you will be getting flowers and nectars throughout the season, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. And since the availability of nectar is more, colonies will be more stronger. They will be able to collect more nectar, and honey production will be more. It will be more profitable. It may be profitable to 1.5 to 2 times, even 200 times increase in production you can get with migratory beekeeping. But migratory beekeeping is not possible if you are rearing only 30 or 50 colonies. At least 200 to 300 colonies you are having, only then it will be profitable. Otherwise, most of the expenses will go. When you will be on wheel, you will have to hire vehicles, you will have to hire trucks, and you will have to hire the place where you will keep. So if you are having good strength of colonies, only then it is advisable to go for migratory keeping.
any more questions, anybody?
See, migratory beekeeping may not be mandatory in forest areas where there are forests. There are evergreen forests, and there are availability of flowers and nectar throughout the season, like in northeast region, in our Himalayas. They may not need to go for this migratory beekeeping, because there will be availability of nectar and pollen throughout the season. So they may keep their colonies at one place. Any other question?
Yes, sir. So Gaurav Gupta is asking, जब हम स्थानांतरण करते हैं तो सारी की सारी कॉलोनियां साथ में ही कैसे माइग्रेशन हो जाता है? कुछ ना कुछ कॉलोनी पीछे छूट जाएगी या फिर दूसरे लोकेशन पर नई कॉलोनी बनती है?
नहीं, क्योंकि हमारे पास कॉलोनीज हाइव्स में रखी हुई हैं, बॉक्सेस में हैं, तो ये जो फोरेजिंग करती हैं शाम को, जैसे ही संध्या का समय होता है, अंधेरा होता है, तो सारी पॉपुलेशन की सारी जो वर्कर्स हैं सारे अपनी कॉलोनीज में आ जाते हैं। तब हम रात को क्या करते हैं कि तब हम रात को उसका जो उसकी ओपनिंग है, जो उसकी विंडो है, जो उसका वो रास्ता है अंदर जाने का, उसको बंद कर देते हैं, सारे इंडिविजुअल्स अंदर हैं। तो अगले दिन सुबह हम फिर क्या करते हैं, उसको माइग्रेशन करके जितने भी बॉक्सेस हैं उन सबको वहां पर ले जाएंगे, वही कॉलोनीज कंटिन्यू करेंगी, वहां जाके नई कॉलोनीज नहीं बनेगी। हाँ, एग लेइंग हो सकती है नई, क्योंकि अगर नेक्टर अच्छा आ रहा है, वहां पर पोलन अच्छा है, तो क्वीन क्या करती है कि नए इंडिविजुअल्स, नई कॉलोनीज को स्ट्रॉन्ग करती है। उसके लिए फिर हमें, जैसे मैंने बताया था, कि सुपर लगाना पड़ता है। उस बॉक्स के ऊपर एक और बॉक्स लगाते हैं, उसको हम सुपर बोलते हैं। उससे कॉलोनीज और अच्छे स्ट्रेंथ हो जाती है। अदरवाइज हम वही कॉलोनीज लेके जाते हैं, शाम को उसको बंद कर देते हैं, सुबह हम उसको माइग्रेट कर देते हैं।
So there is another question, which crop is best source of nectar?